Welcome back, everyone. Episode 13 of Wingman's Hangar. You know, the weird thing about 13, the number 13, that is thought to be unlucky in some places, but I believe in China, it's thought of as to be lucky. So we're going to go with their interpretation. Episode 13 is action-packed. We've got a lot going on this week. We've got the week in review. We've got forum feedback. We've got wide world news. And we've got an interview with CryEngine expert and senior technical designer, Dan Tracy. It's just too much to handle. You're not going to believe it. So let's just get right to it, shall we? This week at Cloud Imperium, well, listen, we had Logo Gate. We released the advocacy logo, and we had a little bit of trepidation on some people's part. They didn't like a little bit of what it was about. So we felt, hey, let's go a little deeper. Let's show them exactly what logo creation's about and explain it a little bit. One of the things we have to do kind of as we're doing this together is we kind of have to explain the process. And that's part of the thing. We signed up for it. You signed up for it. It's just going to be all about fun. So the second bit came out and people were like, oh my God, you guys rock. That's the best thing ever. And that's what we want to hear. That's what we're aiming for. We also had Dan Tracy. He's down from Canada. We just hired him. He's our new senior technical designer. And Dan got the team together and showed them exactly what it's like to build a level in the CryEngine. Dan took about an hour or 2 hours to train some of our designers. He'll be doing that in Montreal, in Los Angeles, and in Austin. So glad to have Dan all this week. And you'll get to see a little bit more of Dan later on this afternoon in the show. And now it's time. You asked for it. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody wanted to see it. We kind of messed it up last time, but I think we're going to do it better this time. The Wingman's nose cam. All right, baby, let's get this light on. Let's get out there. Hey, you guys get to see what I see. There's Michael, and there's the thing I'm always peering off to the right, make sure my timing's right. Let's get out there with a camera, check things out. Last time we had a little difficulties. We'll try to do a little better this time. We got some guys working. There's Mark and Forrest. How you guys doing? Yeah, exactly. Hey, Tom, how you doing, buddy? Means going on? Into the art pit. There's Brian sitting right over there. Can't let you see too much of what Zane's doing. That's the future of the website. I heard you're going to show us some stuff today.
Yeah, sure. So what we're doing right now is we are waiting and rigging our skeleton, making our character move all around. Yay! I'm waving my arm. Oh, really? So yeah, and I think one of the things you're talking about is, and one of the things that's been discussed, at least in the forums that I've been talking about, is the reference shoot that we did with our model. I'm going to show you real quick. There's two parts to that shoot. There's one for reference for modeling, and then there's reference for animation.
Right.
So what I have over here.
Oh, let me move over so I can see that over there. Okay, go ahead.
So what I have over here is our model's elbow, and I'm watching her bend her arm, and I'm watching how her skin and the deformation in that joint. And I come back over here.
Right.
And I look at my guy, and I'm like, go to that point in the animation, and there we go.
So you mirror what you've got in the film shoot.
Yeah, here, let me go to our texture.
Okay.
I try to match it up as best I can. And there's only so much you can do with low poly characters and limited joints and stuff.
Now, is it tough to change from the right arm of her to the left arm of the character?
Obviously, there are differences. Physiology of a female, and she has very thin arms, where his arms are a little bit beefier, and there's a little bit of playing around with that. But,
well, all men are a little stocky there.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
but it's generally the same. You're looking at joint deformation and how
Cool.
the tendons and muscles are pulling. Another thing that we shot, and I've got it right over here, is a lot of people are talking about is the topology on her face. And this is our facial test.
Right. I remember that.
I can make this a little bit bigger for you.
Right, that's great.
And as I scrub through here, you can see all the deformation in her skin and her neck and the muscles and the veins and tendons pulling as she goes through all of her facial expressions and scared, goes through you know happy, worried, disgusted. If I just hit play, you can you just kind of see how everything moves.
Right on.
And as far as for the modeling.
Yeah, and how do we translate that?
Well, that is a modeling question. It's probably best to ask Mark that question.
Oh, so we can get that in the future, then we can talk to Mark about how we
do it.
do it.
Talk to Mark. He'll tell you how he builds his edge loops and his edge flow in the face. And
so what's the deal with the lines on our face? What are those for?
Okay, so what we have is we have edge loops, which go. Here, let me expand that for you. So what we have here is we have edge loops that come around. They kind of follow the muscle that goes around the mouth, and it helps expand things like eyes, mouths. And then we have edge flow, which runs. So
these are like tracking points.
Yeah, well, it's like flow of geometry, and if we don't have the flow right, when you start animating the character, it will actually break the geometry.
Everybody's got to get their flow right, baby.
So you got to have the right flow, right? So we follow basic muscle structure for the most part, and it helps pull and stretch and whatnot.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bryan. We appreciate it. We're going to get back to the Hangar show. Thanks a lot. Say goodbye.
See you later, Wingman.
Thanks, man.
Later, guys.
Take care. Go back out here to the designers. We want to talk about what was said about designers this week in the press. Zoom a little farther down here. There's Brendan knocking down the coffee machine as ever. And we'll come right back around. Whoa, hey, wait. Stay out of there, Wingman. All right. That was pretty awesome. Turn our light off. What'd you think of that? Pretty cool, huh? Not bad. It worked a little better this time, I think. Sorry about the little, just kidding moment, but that's how we roll. All right, so now we're gonna talk a big shout out to our fan of the week, Michael Nightingale, for helping us shoot last week's South by Southwest episode. We took a moment to chat with Michael at the event. Hey everybody, as promised, we're here at South by Southwest, and we're doing the fan of the week. We introduced that segment last week with Legante. This week, it's Michael Nightingale. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great, Eric. Great to be here at South by
It's not
Southwest.
Eric, it's Wingman.
It's Wingman,
It's
okay.
Wingman. Come on, man. You guys may have recognized Michael. He's been around the office a few times. He's one of our most generous donors. He's part of the crew. You actually helped us out on the 24-hour live webcast.
That I did. It was a lot of fun being able to just kind of pitch in, help you guys around with some small stuff that someone needs to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you did more than that. I believe the lamp might have been your creation.
It was sort of a little moment thing that we decided to, kind of put in front of the camera, and then once everybody got into it, it was like, may as well play along with the community.
And now the lamp is like, it's iconic. It's an internet meme. I don't know, it's meme, it's meme, meme. It's one of those things, but it's going to be a Star Citizen.
Well, I'm glad something I did is making it into Star Citizen somehow.
More than just the lamp. So Michael's one of our biggest contributors, but he's also stopped by the office with a few beverages.
Well, I've been trying to take care of you guys every so often, when a new month comes up.
He's taking care of us all right.
Yeah, well, most of the community is taking care of them with the food, and, they absolutely thank you guys so much for that.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
But I take care of you guys with some of the finer spirits that we can find around here in the Austin area, especially some of the very good German spirits.
It's amazing. The beers you're bringing are fantastic. It's not like Budweiser or Coors Light. I mean, we're getting good stuff. Like, let's plug a few out here. What are we drinking these days?
Well, usually I go for some of the Spaten stuff, the Doppelbox, some of the Oktoberfest stuff. Let's see, there's a couple of Hefeweizens that I'd like to bring out. Some of the Belgian stuff I've also had them taste, and there was like a honey wheat Babar that I had a couple of people try, and they absolutely loved it. And usually, I try to go for the German beer because, we're working with the German engine. We got a couple of German employees, so we may as well get accustomed to the German taste.
That's right, baby. So listen, you're also one of our biggest backers. So what do you have? What ships do you personally own in the Star Citizen universe?
Well, let's see, through the actual pledging, I have the 5 main pledger ships. The Aurora, the 300i, the Freelancer. Let's see,
You have the Corvette?
No, I don't. Well, I didn't pledge for the Corvette.
Okay.
Let's see, the Constellation, and I'm missing one. It's the
Hornet.
Hornet, yes.
That's amazing. So you got all 5. So whenever the Hangar app comes out, you're going to be able to look at quite a few different ships.
Oh, quite, yeah. I'm going to try to think of a use for every single one of them. One for the lazy Sunday drive, one for the
Now, let me ask you a question. There's a lot of different ways you can play the game, right?
Yeah.
What's your preferred method? Are you more of a fighter? Are you a mercenary, a bounty hunter? What are you going to do?
I typically go where the solar winds take me or something like that, but usually it's sort of an organic, like I've played a lot of EVE Online, so I'm kind of used to player interaction and thievery.
Thievery. So would you say you're like a leaf on the wind?
Watch how I soar.
Beautiful, beautiful. Big thanks to Michael. He's been a big help around the office. He actually helped with the 24-hour live event, which we talked about in there. He's brought some beers, which we really like, and he's helping out a lot around town. I think he even helped Big Ben, move into his apartment. That's amazing. You guys are incredible. Thank you very much. You know what it's time for now? You know what? You love it. It's forum feedback with a few less. So today we're going to get right to Zacket. Zacket says, where will a player's ship be when they're offline? Do they remain in their hangar? If they're visible to other players, can they be stolen? Yeah, buddy, if you park your ship out in the middle of space or somewhere in public, yeah, it's absolutely fair game for anybody. Now, if it's in your hangar, of course, it's always safe because it's always safe in the hangar. And from Rebuck, he says,
hello, Wingman. Before I begin, may I say that no one has ever worn a black box quite the way you do.
Kudos for allowing me to keep my eyesight.
This week I'd like to ask about the current development load the team has.
Basically, where is the current focus right now, and how much time is spent on talking out the details, working through things, and actually building for the game afterwards?
Just for the record, I'm wearing the black bars right now. Yeah, bud. I'll tell you what's going on. The programmers are programming, the designers are designing, and the artists are artisting. So everybody's working, but the thing is we all get together and work on the larger picture, global picture overall, and make sure there are no blocking points in any specific discipline. So yes, the dev team is working hard, and everybody's doing their own thing, and it works really well across all platforms or across all different locations. So of course, we're doing great. From Odd God, he says, will we be able to purchase afterburners that affect thrusters as opposed to only a ship's main engines? Yeah, of course you're going to be able to purchase afterburners. Now, whether they'll be just on the main engines or they'll be like on the side hard points, that's still TBD. You know, we want people to be able to fight, but we don't necessarily want somebody to be jerking around the screen everywhere. So it's going to be a game balance issue. It's going to be a way we play it. But you can bet your bippy that some engines will have afterburners and some will not. From Heartsblade, he says,
hello, Wingman. Heartsblade here. With the announcement of the 5 main branches of service of the UEE, I was wondering if in the future there'll be add-ons for Squadron 42, allowing players to explore careers in the various other branches before moving into the persistent universe.
What another great question. You know, let's just say it is safe to assume that Squadron 42 is not the last epic journey that you can take in the Star Citizen universe, right? From DM Gavin, he says, he has a question for us mid-age crisis gamers. Will there be an in-game dating service so that my lonely, long-range exploration specialist may hook up with pirate ladies carrying serious booty? Hooking up is not encouraged. Blowing up is. At least with ships blowing up. You know what I mean? Some of those questions, folks. From ES Miol, he says,
hi, Wingman. I've got a question for you. When we hire NPCs as crew for a multi-crew ship, is it only for one trip, or the NPCs is hired permanently, and have we to pay a salary to them every period of time? And one more thing, can our NPC crew be killed during a fight? If our ship get damaged? It was Orc for Stapyard News. A bientôt.
wow, that was really inventive. Love those things. Keep them coming. The way it's going to work with your NPC things, or the way we think it's going to work, we're still designing the thing early, is that you'll create a contract with other Star Citizens, and the contract will dictate the terms as to how that pay is going to work, as to whether they stay with you a while, when they get paid, what they have to do, and things of that nature. It'll have to be filed with the government, of the local government, to where they enforce it, which will, if somebody breaks that contract, then it creates bounties on them, or creates other issues, so to speak. And yeah, man, if they're helping you out and they get killed, you betcha death is part of the game. That's right, baby. Permadeath can happen. We know it. We've heard about it. Old school. Very cool. All right. Crisis asks, when I crashed my car, I learned something. Insurance companies are cults of Satan. Will they be like this in Star Citizen as well? Yeah, evil is as evil does. So, of course, insurance is like Satan. Sure. And from one of our favorite people who sends in videos, Legante, take it away.
Hey, Wingman, Legante here. Found this old thing, and, well, needless to say, it's my baby. Looks are useless now. You have a wires connected to the blue wire. Oh, man, red wire not connected to the black wire. How are we going to communicate to players? Assuming that voice over IP will not be an option, as typically people use third-party programs for that anyway. Are we going to have our own personal visual avatars pop up and be able to utilize predetermined voice calls with other players? Additionally, are we going to go with a hailing approach with typical area chat and PMs? Well, this is Legante signing out.
I love that guy's videos. Yeah, the comm system's going to work a lot like the Wing Commanders or Privateers did. Well, there'll be some hailing. You can hail somebody if you're not using VoIP and talk to them and give them commands, or or ask for permission to land, things like that. So it's going to be what you're probably familiar with from other Wing Commanders, Privateer style games. And Kin Shadow, he has a few choice things to say for, well, just watch.
Wingman, this is Kin Shadow from the Dread Citizen blog. The Cutlass description mentions a pocket destroyer. Is this a pirate capital ship of sorts? Any details you can share? Thanks. Now, be very quiet. I'm hunting Legantes.
Pocket destroyer, huh? Do I have pockets, but no destroyer? No, the way the pocket destroyers are, it's just a smaller version of a destroyer that'll be in the military that you'll be able to fight against. So no secret there, just a type of military craft. And by the way, good luck with your hunt. From Dr. Hawk, he says,
hello everyone, Dr. Hawk here with a question for Eric the Wingman. Eric, I know it's a little early to tell, but what kinds of dirty tricks will I be able to pull out in Star Citizen? Right now, I currently have my radar set to passive in MechWarrior Living Legends. This allows me to turn off my radar to a degree that it makes it harder for enemies to detect me. As such, I can sneak behind enemy lines and look for unsuspecting players. Will we be able to do similar things in Star Citizen? Or rather, will we be able to equip modules that will allow us to do so? This could be anything from a stealth drive, or even a cloak, to just a simple module that turns on or off with the flick of a switch.
Wow, another great video. And by the way, Dan Tracy was the leader of that mod. He's the one who actually made that MechWarrior mod. So that's incredible that he's on the show this week and we're featuring that question. So yeah, man, sneaking around, doing some stuff like that, it's all part of war. Anything you think you can do in war, diversion, sneaking around, combat, things like that, yes, we will absolutely allow some of that stuff going on in there. What it's going to be? Well, you're just going to have to wait to play to see. All right, that was your forum feedback. And now it's time for Wide World News. We're designing spacesuits for Star Citizen. Some citizens are building their very own do-it-yourself spacesuits for reals. Dr. Cameron Smith, an anthropologist at Portland State University, couldn't join the NASA astronaut program due to poor eyesight, but that didn't stop his dreams of reaching for the stars. For the past couple of years, he's been quietly building his very own spacesuit, designed to keep him alive and safe on a planned 50,000-foot balloon flight to the edge of space. Last year, he performed a variety of pressure and flexibility tests. That caught the eye of another do-it-yourself space program. Copenhagen Suborbitals is partnering with Dr. Smith to design the pressure suit for their Tycho flight capsules. That won't keep Smith from pursuing his high-flying balloon trip. Currently, he is working on acquiring his professional ballooning license, after which he'll file a flight plan with the appropriate authorities. And now, a look back in time with This Week in Space. On March 16, 1966, Gemini 8 Commander Neil Armstrong and pilot Dave Scott lifted off from Cape Canaveral to perform the world's first orbital docking maneuver. The unmanned Agena target vehicle with which they would dock had been launched an hour before the Gemini mission. The mission was going smoothly as Gemini approached and successfully docked with Agena. However, shortly after docking, the two spacecraft began to spin violently out of control. Out of touch with ground control and thinking there was a problem with the Agena, Armstrong undocked the two spacecraft, only to further increase the spin of the Gemini spacecraft to full revolution per second. Dizzy and disoriented, Scott noticed Gemini's 8 attitude control fuel had dropped to 30%. Apparently, an attitude thruster valve was stuck in the on position. I hate it when that happens. And after recycling all the thrusters, the astronauts managed to regain control of Gemini and immediately aborted the mission to return to Earth. Neil Armstrong's cool-headedness during the emergency was a pivotal factor in his selection as Apollo 11 commander. Likewise, Dave Scott's performance contributed to his selection as command module pilot for Apollo 9 and as mission commander of Apollo 15. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your wide world news. Now introducing Senior Technical Designer Dan Tracy.
So tell us about yourself.
So I'm Dan Tracy. I'm Senior Technical Designer at Cloud Imperium here. Came over from Crytek. Have lots of experience with the CryEngine.
Tell me about your experience with Crytek. How did you get connected with them?
So I probably came in through like an unorthodox really method. It was mainly through the modding community. My brother and I actually started up MechWarrior Living Legends probably back in 2005. A lot of our skill set was actually all self-taught, so we actually were very proficient in everything that we were doing, from 3D modeling to level design to scripting to asset creation.
So you were with Crytek. How did you discover Chris Roberts' new effort?
I got connected with Cloud Imperium actually when I was still working on Rise at the time, and we were introduced to actually the Cloud Imperium, the Squadron 42 tech demo. Saw the video of that, and I was thoroughly impressed, and I was really excited to get in contact with Chris in order to try to come over here and see if I can actually come and help you guys.
Tell me about your awareness of Chris's work, his games, before you found out about Star Citizen.
It was Wing Commander 3 that I actually played a little bit of, but not as extensively as Freelancer. And when I later found out that it was also Chris Roberts that started Freelancer, like the whole idea of the Freelancer universe and similar style of what it's actually Star Citizen is going to branch out to be, I was just like, awesome, I want to be a part of this. And this was something that I couldn't pass up.
Well, we're glad you're here now to help out with Star Citizen.
Awesome.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Well, we couldn't talk to Dan Tracy and have him in town without taking him out to the Salt Lick, the world's best barbecue.
All right. Brisket ribs and sausage, oyster brisket, potato salad, beans and coleslaw.
We're out at Salt Lick in Driftwood, Texas, right outside of Austin, where we're going to interview Dan Tracy, our new senior designer. Let's see what he has to say. Well, Dan Tracy, how you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, I've got a lot of meat in me right now.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So what do you think of the barbecue? This is like
that was terrific.
It's amazing.
It was amazing.
It's like a destination spot out here.
Oh, I was telling you guys when I first got here that I just got to have a barbecue coming out here, and you guys were like, we got to take you out to Salt Lick. And I was like, Okay, what's this all about?
And now you know.
Yeah. Oh man, it took us forever to go through all that meat. Hey.
It did, but you know the best part about that is that we're giving pillows at the office, so we'll be napping instead of making the game this afternoon.
Oh, perfect.
We'll be napping and dashing to the bathroom, right?
So you got cots, right?
Yeah, of course we have cots.
Or do I have to curl up underneath my desk there?
Exactly. So as you can hear the way he's talking, you're not from America, are you?
No, I'm actually Canadian.
Canadian?
Eh?
Yeah, so breathe in and out.
In and out.
In and out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
What?
So anyway, Dan, you're from Canada,
yep.
But you come to Cloud Imperium from CryTech.
Yes.
Explain how that works. How did you end up there to here?
Well, I was actually at CryTech for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I moved over from Edmonton, Alberta. I came in from the modding community, actually, so it was a kind of an unorthodox way of getting into the game industry.
You got to CryTech through the modding community?
Yes, exactly.
You must have made some really, really good mod. Tell us about that. What was it?
It was 2009 ModDB's Mod of the Year, actually. It was called MechWarrior Living Legends. Both my brother and I actually started this mod probably way back in 2005, actually, when we were originally starting looking at like other game engines, like the Battlefield 2142 engine, I don't know, Quake
Frostbite,
Wars.
right?
Yeah, exactly. We were just like, none of these engines really have the kick that we really wanted to. And then we actually got a hold of the CryEngine, and then we said, wow, dude, there's so much for us to actually use with this engine. So all of our work that we did previous to that, it was all max assets that we actually started putting into the engine, and it was all self-taught. Like we taught ourselves how to do the character animations, the vehicle sections. I designed like a whole system for this modular weapons for all the mechs, and as you know, like the BattleTech universe is totally in depth with how they
very
do
rich,
all
very rich,
very rich universe that has tons of potential for like a wide variety of weapon sets that you can use with that. So we went hog wild with this, and we said, you know what? There hasn't really been like another MechWarrior title since like MechWarrior 4, which was like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. So we said like we want to bring back, since everything's going to consoles now. We felt very betrayed as PC gamers, and we said, we need to make something that's really rich and comes back to more of the simulation style things. So we put together a whole multiplayer setup with walking mechs inside of it, and then we released this over to the community, and we said, hey, you know, what do you guys think? Like, come join us on in Crisis. And I still to this day, arguably, we probably helped sell more than half of the copies just because of MechWarrior for Crisis, actually.
Really?
Yes, exactly.
Well, so what happened then? I mean, did Crisis, the people at CryTech, did they recognize that? And
they loved it. We got in contact with a few guys over there at CryTech. My brother first got hired on as a technical writer, and then he actually moved over to the SK team. I was working at BioWare at the time as QA, but then they said they actually wanted to pull me over as well, so I got pulled over as a designer onto another project, which eventually led me over to Crisis 2, and then a little bit of Crisis 3, and then later on to Rise project as well.
Cool. I mean, it's a pretty diverse history you've got going there. I mean, clearly games are your passion.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, that's completely how everybody here that's watching right now, everybody here at Cloud Imperium, that's why we're here. I mean, you know, a lot of people have come back in the industry just because Chris is doing this really cool thing, and we want to all be part of it. So, what are you doing? What are you doing for us on a daily basis? Where are you stationed? What's going on?
Daily basis, what I'm doing is, I'm coming down to Austin to come help you guys out with everything to do with the technicals.
And for the meat.
And for the meat.
And for the meat.
Oh, the meat was delicious. I gotta come back here more often.
I know, there's plenty of meat here.
Oh. Is that a euphemism for something?
No.
Okay. So anyway, like what I'm doing with you guys is helping you guys with all parts of the engine, since I've touched basically everything that we had, from characters to weapons to the vehicle system, which I totally love, since you guys are already doing this whole modular weapon setup.
What's that?
I don't know. Somebody banging on something? Oh. I don't know. Must be the wind or something.
I don't know. Maybe some guy out in the weather or something.
I guess so.
Who knows?
Got great weather here, though.
We do have great weather here, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like warm, right? Compared to Canada, right?
Warm compared to space too, I guess. Eh?
So you're well,
Well, I don't know, right? Space is the absence of warmth, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, so you're helping the team get used to the CryEngine, which is unbelievably important. We have a couple people from Crytek that have come over, which is speeding up the process of making the game and getting it quicker out to the fans. So where will you be based?
I'm looking at talking with Chris to actually base myself in California right now, but I don't know, like Austin seems very, very beautiful. It's very, very tempting. Very tempting to
It's also not August. Just saying. It's tempting today, it's punishingly hot in August.
And that's the thing, like temperatures above melting point of water, man, like that's my weakness. I'm feeling like I'm melting just now.
Oh, it's nice here. Yeah, so you'll probably be based in LA with Chris, one of our 2 to 3 offices from Montreal, LA, Austin. And you'll be working kind of like a strike team. Describe how that's going to work. Describe what's going on there.
So what Chris was telling me how this is actually all going to be set up. It's also Paul Reindell from CryEngine as well. Yep. That's also come on board with us. Right. Chris is putting together a strike team that's actually going to be moving around from Austin as well to Montreal to really help out with the parts of the game that really need help in terms of the engine implementation. So everywhere from the dogfighting setup to the vehicles to any of the weapons that also need a little bit of help, we'll be there. We'll be there with the best minds that the industry has to offer with CryEngine expertise following suit, right? So having Chris at the helm, being able to direct us where we need to help you guys out. Already met tons of you guys down here in Austin. You guys are great guys to work with, and I can't wait to continue helping you guys out more.
Well, you're going to be here a lot, I think. I mean,
I hope so. Austin's beautiful.
You've only been here a couple weeks already, and you guys have gotten a ton of stuff done. I mean, you did an incredible demo yesterday for how to put the assets in and how to manipulate them by level building. But one question I had for you is, apparently you're playing some Merchants game with our lead designer Rob last week. How did that go? How did you guys do? All the designers all played?
Oh, that was a train wreck. We played Merchants and Marauders.
Merchants and Marauders?
Yeah. It's set up. It was basically like a pirates game where you can either choose to be like a marauder or a merchant.
Merchants and Marauders.
With the A accent in there.
Right. I can't do that one. I can do the Texas version.
So I guess Rob's been playing this game for a little bit.
And
that was his first time jumping in this. I had no idea what I was doing.
So he suckered you in? So
totally.
Well, you need to get him back in something like a game of Risk or something. Get something going on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I said, hey, bring in Settlers. I can kick your ass in that.
There you go. Well, yeah, there you go. You've been in Germany. Settlers is huge in Germany.
Oh, it is. It totally is. And then going back to it, like growing up, I loved Dungeons & Dragons and Hero Quest. I grew up on that. Like we played a crap ton of that with our whole neighborhood. It was great. I got tons of stories with that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, Dan, good to have you here and break some meat with you there.
Oh, it's great.
And we'll see you back at the office.
All right.
I am still full, and that was yesterday. Get your meat sweats on. Nothing like them. Nothing like the Salt Lick. Thank you for letting us film out there, and thanks to Dan Tracy for being so awesome as joining our team from Crytek. He's made us much better. Thanks to Bryan Brewer for sharing a little bit of his progress with our male character and how the reference model stuff actually works. And coming up this week, yours truly will be at GDC. So we're going to kind of change things up a bit. We're going to have kind of a Wingman's Hangar retrospect next week with a very special guest host. So be sure to join in and check that out. Don't forget the Wingman's after show, The Hangover, coming in about 15 minutes. We're going to discuss an informal look at what you liked, what you didn't like, and just kind of give me your feedback on the chat roll on the site. Little live interaction, my favorite part. And remember, if you want your stuff featured on Wingman's Hangar, send it in. We just might use it. And as Captain Kirk would say, see you in the verse.
Apollo 13 flight controllers, give me a go, no-go for launch.
Does it bother you that the public regards this flight as routine?
There's nothing routine about flying to the moon. I can vouch for that. Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch. We're going to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.
We got a wicked shimmy up here.
The Apollo 13 spacecraft is apparently losing breathing oxygen. The emergency has ruled out any chance of a lunar landing.
Why are so many people here? Something broke on your daddy's spaceship.
Econ, what's your data telling you?
It's reading a quadruple failure. That can't happen. It's got to be instrumentation.
The ship's bleeding to death.
At this rate, we're going to skip right out of the atmosphere, and we're never going to get back. We're looking at less than 15 minutes of life support in the Odyssey.
We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch.
Odyssey, do you read me?
How long does it take to power up the LEM?
3 hours by the checklist.
You don't have that much time.